On August 20th, 1977, a tiny spacecraft no bigger than a family car left Earth on a mission no one believed would last. Its name was Voyager 2.
Far beyond the reaches of Earth, where the sun is just another star in the velvet blackness, Voyager 2 drifted silently on a path few machines would ever dare. It had already achieved what no human-made object had done before, traveling through the outer reaches of the solar system and breaking into interstellar space. But just before that final crossing into the great unknown, the spacecraft sent back a series of images that left scientists, astronomers, and even casual observers stunned. These were not just photographs. They were a visual goodbye from a tireless emissary of Earth, capturing a cosmos that humans had never truly seen. The last pictures Voyager 2 took were shocking not because of what they were expected to show, but because of what they unexpectedly revealed. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. As Voyager 2 approached the heliopause, the boundary where the sun's influence peters out into the interstellar medium, its cameras, long dormant except for calibration and occasional checks, were commanded to look back one final time. This act was not only technical but symbolic. It was a look into the dark, a moment of reflection before the probe vanished into deep space forever. What it captured wasn't merely starlight, planets, or cosmic voids. Instead, Voyager 2 photographed scenes that seemed haunting, impossible, and unlike anything previously observed in the known solar system. In one sequence, as the probe turned its instruments toward Neptune and Uranus in the distance, it documented light distortions that defied known physics. The curvature of light, which some believed to be due to gravitational lensing from a previously undetected object, appeared to ripple across the image frame. It wasn't a camera malfunction. Engineers and analysts reviewed telemetry for days. Everything functioned as intended. What Voyager 2 had seen was real, but inexplicable. This mysterious refraction wasn't consistent with what was expected from known planetary bodies. The light bent in sudden shifts, almost like a pulse or signal, bending around an invisible force. Some suggested that perhaps Voyager 2 had briefly caught the visual impression of a dark matter presence, something vast and undetected by other instruments. The implications were staggering. If correct, it would mean Voyager 2, alone and aging, had stumbled upon the most elusive material in the universe, something invisible, yet undeniably there. As it drifted farther, the images took on a different tone. One photograph, taken over the span of several days and compiled into a single, grainy composition, seemed to show a diffuse glow in the blackness. This was no ordinary starlight. The glow was not from any known star, nor was it within any mapped galactic structure. Instead, it pulsed in irregular intervals. Scientists at first suspected cosmic rays or background radiation anomalies, but again, Voyager 2's instruments confirmed otherwise. The glow appeared in a fixed location across multiple frames, indicating a persistent source. What made this glow so unsettling was its position, seemingly hovering just outside the heliopause. That would mean it wasn't inside the solar system, but rather beyond in the interstellar medium. And yet it looked as though it had a shape, a vague form, shifting but always centered. Some likened it to a plasma veil, perhaps the edge of an unknown field or interstellar structure. Whatever it was, it gave off a presence, something massive, slow-moving, and possibly ancient. Among the most debated images from this final burst was one that looked at first glance like a silhouette. Against the backdrop of deep space where even light finds it difficult to travel, the silhouette seemed to block out entire fields of stars, an absence so total that even background cosmic microwave patterns were missing within it. A void inside a void. Some researchers posited this could be a rogue planet long theorized to exist in interstellar space, free-floating planets untethered to any star. But this object showed no infrared signature, no thermal reading, and no gravitational tug on Voyager 2's path. What startled observers most was the impression of symmetry in the shadow. It wasn't just random, it appeared too geometrical. Sharp edges, linear boundaries. It almost resembled a structure. The idea that something artificial, or at least unrecognized, could be drifting in interstellar space ignited intense debate. Some insisted it was just pareidolia, the brain's tendency to find patterns where none exist, but too many experts were reluctant to dismiss it entirely. Voyager 2 had no reason to fabricate symmetry. In another series of photographs, taken as Voyager 2 continued its outward journey, specks of light seemed to shimmer in ways inconsistent with known stellar movement. These weren't stars, They were too close, too erratic. Analysis showed they blinked in sequences, potentially indicating a pattern. Could they have been emissions? Signals from a source unknown? Or could they be reflections, bouncing off interstellar particles, indicating a medium denser than previously believed? No theory fully explained the rhythm. Voyager 2's images also captured something eerily poetic. As it turned briefly toward the fading sun, the camera recorded the star as a faint point, no larger than any other speck in the sky. Earth was invisible by then, drowned in solar glare and vast distance. The sun, once dominant, now appeared humbled, just another light in the eternal night. This perspective struck a chord among those who viewed the pictures. It wasn't just the visual that shocked, it was the emotional gravity of understanding our true scale in the cosmos. The spacecraft also captured what some have described as plasma wind, strange flows of charged particles moving through space in unexpected vectors. These weren't solar wind, nor were they moving in any trajectory connected to the galactic core. They seemed to swirl, spiral, and twist like invisible rivers in the dark. If Voyager 2 had been equipped with real-time imaging, these patterns would likely resemble auroras in motion, but on a scale that dwarfed entire planets. More intriguing still was the unexpected reappearance of radiation bands that were thought to have dissipated at the edge of the solar system. These belts, similar to the Van Allen radiation belts around Earth, were never expected to exist so far out, yet Voyager 2's sensors detected them, their strength varying wildly over time. What was powering them? No nearby stellar body had the capability. Theorists began to speculate. Perhaps these were remnants of some ancient cosmic event, a collision or outburst that had rippled through space millions of years ago, and Voyager 2 was just now brushing the edge of its aftermath. One photograph, just a flicker caught between longer exposures, hinted at movement. A thin line of disrupted starlight passed through the frame like something had moved across the camera's view. The probe was stable. There was no internal issue. It looked like a shadow, narrow and long, casting itself across billions of miles. Some thought it might be a comet or interstellar asteroid, but its speed and trajectory were unlike anything previously cataloged. A few researchers privately entertained more speculative possibilities. Space debris from another civilization, or worse, something organic. In another eerie moment, Voyager 2 sent back a single audio burst, accompanied by a dark frame. Though mostly background radiation, embedded in the signal was a sharp spike, a high-frequency tone that didn't match any known cosmic noise. It lasted less than 2 seconds, but it was enough to imprint itself onto every spectrograph it touched. There was nothing to see, and yet everything changed with that sound. It was as though space had briefly spoken. The implications of these images stretch beyond astronomy. They touch on philosophy, on our understanding of existence and perception. Voyager 2's final photographs weren't just about data. They challenged the idea that the universe is static, predictable, and comprehensible. They suggested layers of reality still hidden, waiting to be seen by machines brave enough or distant enough to capture them. Perhaps most haunting was the last image of all. It showed nothing, a deep black so perfect it almost looked artificial. No stars, no light, no signals, just an abyss. It wasn't the camera failing. Diagnostics confirmed all systems were functional. This final frame was simply empty, and yet it felt full. A curtain call from the void itself, as if the universe had turned off the lights and said, "No more." This single image, just darkness, became iconic. It was printed in labs, shown at conferences, and debated endlessly. What was in the black? Was it a transition point? Had Voyager 2 crossed into a region where even light refused to follow? Or had it, in its relentless drift, reached a threshold where human understanding could go no further? There was no resolution, no final commentary from the craft, just silence. The same silence that has always defined space, only now, filled with a new weight. The kind of silence that doesn't just mean absence, but presence. Vast, unknowable, patient. Voyager 2's last pictures were not about endings, but about revelations we can't yet interpret. They are the kind of images that continue to work on you long after you've seen them. Not with answers, but with questions that reshape your sense of what might be waiting out there. Long after the cameras went dark and the transmission ceased, those final pictures remain. Frozen glimpses of a reality too distant, too alien, and perhaps too profound for the minds that built the machine to truly grasp. Voyager 2 didn't just photograph space. It held up a mirror to the infinite and showed us how little we know. What came through in those last shocking images wasn't fear or hope or even awe. It was the silent truth of the cosmos looking back. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Voyager 2's final photos? What do you expect to see? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.